Hello and welcome to this episode of Hypnotist Bernie's Exposition. Joining us tonight is Stephanie.
Hi Bernie, thanks for having me.
Great to meet you. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I'm a professional hypnotist in North Carolina. I've been a student of hypnotism for about a decade now.
Right.
I've been working professionally for 6 years.
Right.
But I like to say I've been a student of the mind for my whole life.
Okay.
I just didn't know I was doing it until about 1999 when I was introduced to hypnotism.
Right. But tell me about you.
Oh, about me. Well, I really enjoy working with people in helping to change their behaviors and make their lives better. I am a native of the South, and I love the South.
Where are you from?
I'm originally from Tennessee, but I've been in North Carolina for 20 years now, so I call the South. I like to think of myself as a naturalized citizen because nobody's actually from the Raleigh-Durham area of North
That's
Carolina.
true. Yeah.
Everybody's a transplant from somewhere, but
Right.
I've been here long enough.
What made you move to North Carolina?
I came here to go to UNC, and I liked it, so I never left.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Go Tar Heels.
That's great. So, what was your past life? Meaning that the life before hypnotism.
Before hypnotism. Oh, that is such a long
Because,
story.
yeah.
We'll try to keep it brief. My background actually had nothing to do with psychology or hypnotism or anything like that. I went through college and studied international studies, which was basically a double major in economics and Western Europe. And ironically, it's the 20th anniversary of the Berlin Wall, and I vividly remember sitting in class studying all of the governments of Europe at the time when the wall fell. So it was a huge deal. It's brought back a lot of memories.
Become a history class.
Exactly. You're living the history.
Right.
And it was very fascinating. I went into public health and business once I got out of school. And I also, on the side, was doing some work in sales. And liked sales.
What kind of stuff?
It was different kinds. It was multi-level marketing.
Okay.
And one of the things that they really encouraged us to do was to learn self-talk and to learn persuasive language.
Right.
And so I spent many years reading books about positive mental attitude and about language structure, only nobody had told me that I was studying neuro-linguistic programming. And after 5-6 years of doing all this work on self-talk and how the unconscious mind only understands the positive and how you should program yourself, finally a friend of mine said, well, so you're studying neuro-linguistic programming? And I said, what's neuro-linguistic programming? And she said, well, that's Dr. Erickson's form of hypnosis. Hypnosis, isn't that people swinging watches and clucking like chickens? I had no idea what hypnotism was. And so this friend sat me down and taught me about the basics of hypnotism and the theories of hypnotism and neuro-linguistic programming. She was a retired clinical psychologist. And the more I learned, the more fascinated I was that all of these things that I had been learning and studying and applying had actually all come from the field of hypnotism. So she started teaching me some basics of hypnotism, and I loved it. I was really good at it. I thought, I want to do this. And so that's how I sort of transitioned from international studies into a more public health, general business field with a sales flair, and then into hypnotism, which is where I am now.
So in a way you were discovered.
It was a long road.
Like
that was it. I was a great Padawan, yes. I really truly believe that we have all been studying the mind from the time we were children, that in learning to adapt to the world and people, we learn by watching people unconsciously. We don't realize that we're responding to other people, to facial expressions, to gestures, to tone of voice. And we're all keyed. We all learn at a very early stage how to respond to people. but it's not until I became an adult, and I think most people become an adult, that we start to break it down, analyze what we're doing, and really learn how to consciously interact with others through language, through gestures, through face, to influence people, and which is, of course, when you really break it down to a science, it's NLP.
How does NLP influence your life other than, getting a job?
And NLP absolutely changed my life, because to me NLP, it is important to use. It is as important to use it on ourselves as it is to use it on other people. And I also firmly believe that if we're really in an NLP mindset, it is about understanding how someone else is talking, where they're coming from. You have to understand the other person's perspective. I found I'm much nicer to other people when I'm using NLP, because I'm studying how they work, how they think, trying to understand where they're coming from so that I can model it. And yes, my goal is definitely to either help them or to influence a situation, to get it going in the direction I would like. But still, by the fact that I'm studying that person so closely, there is an empathy that develops, and I wind up treating people. I'm firmly convinced I treat people better now that I understand more about NLP than I did before, because it just forces me to look at things from the other person's perspective and to see a person there as opposed to an obstacle or someone who's frustrating me.
Do you get a lot of frustrating people?
Oh, there are always frustrating people around, Bernie, you know that. And the nice thing is it works on the phone as well. You call customer service and you're so angry and, this thing hasn't worked, or, the company didn't do what it was supposed to do. And when you get a human being on the other line, if you start to listen to them and use vocal tones, Dr. Erickson used to always say the way he hypnotized people was to go into a trance and invite people to join him. And I have found that the more I calm myself down and use vocal tones, calm vocal tones, the better response I get from people, particularly on the phone, because if you're sitting on the phone all day talking to irate people, having someone who listens to you and matches your tone and calms you down makes a big difference.
The telemarketer's best friend.
Yes, that's it. I am nice to telemarketers, because right out of college I did some telemarketing. I wish I'd known NLP at the time. It would have made a big difference. But I'm always nice to the poor person on the phone, because I know what it's like to be hung up on constantly.
So would you classify yourself as a neo-Erickson or like a classical?
I really don't categorize myself. What I have found is that I try to pull techniques from all sorts of places. My inductions are I think very classical. I do a lot of progressive relaxation in my inductions. I do a lot of I use visual induction tools, but I also do modified Ericksonian inductions, and I blend it all together. When I'm working with a client, it's very much about what they need. I'll start going through a very standard script the first time I meet someone, but then as I get to know them, I'll find out what's working for them and what's not working for them. And as I learn what's working for them, I adapt. We either go more Ericksonian or we go more direct suggestions. Some people respond so well to direct suggestion with an authoritarian tone. That's what I take. Some people respond so much better to Ericksonian language and to spinning or some of the newer techniques of NLP, that's the way to go. And it all depends on the client and the feedback that I'm getting from the client. My job is to find out what's going to work best for their unconscious mind.
So this being a hypnosis show, so one of us has to go into hypnosis.
All right, which one is it going to be? I'm used to doing the hypnosis, so it would be nice to be hypnotized for once.
That would be great. Well, we all know that the best hypnotists are the best subjects. So, what would you like to work on today with hypnosis?
Well, I would like to focus on having a healthier body, and that's inside and out. So healthy, I'm a big believer in healthy cells, healthy tissues, healthy organs, healthy systems, healthy body.
Okay.
So working on a healthy being, I guess.
Okay. How would you like to see yourself change?
I would like to see myself 20 years younger at the cellular level. So
you think you'll be 5 years old?
Yeah, no, yeah, something like that. Seriously, I would like to see myself feeling very energetic and feeling very healthy.
Okay.
Because at the times in my life when I have been very healthy, I've been taking care of myself and working, and my body has just exuded health, and my spirit and my mind have exuded health. It's felt really good.
Okay.
So I would like to be at a place where everything feels and exudes health.
Okay. What would be going through your mind when you feel that way?
When I feel healthy, when I feel that kind of health, what's going through my mind is how good I feel. And how glad I am that I'm taking care of myself,
Okay.
that I'm taking care of my thoughts, that I'm taking care of my body.
Okay. And what kind of things would you do differently?
It would be how I eat,
Okay.
and it would be letting go of the stress.
And what would be one specific example of how would you carry that out? You know what I'm getting.
Yeah, I do. I know exactly where you're going. So it's a good question. I like good questions. I learn from them. So one really good example of what I would be doing when my body feels healthy is drinking only water.
Okay.
Not drinking diet soda, not drinking juices, just drinking water.
No scotch.
Yeah. I don't drink alcohol, but
Okay.
yeah, I drink too much soda. I freely admit it. That's my vice.
Okay. And what would you do you talk about feeling less stress. What would be the one thing you do to help you alleviate the stress or make you feel less stressful?
Something that I'm not already doing would have to be doing more deep breathing and meditation. I do some self-hypnosis and meditation, but I can always do more. And that's a great way to let go of stress.
Okay. And when you're drinking only water, and when you are only, well, I won't say only doing meditation, because we would all like to do that, but
Yeah.
we have bills to pay, right? When you do more meditation, when you do more deeper breathing, in turn, how would that make you feel?
It makes me feel lighter,
Okay.
much lighter.
Can you tell me more about that word, lighter?
It's a feeling of health and feeling cleansed.
Okay.
The energy just flows very freely because my body's not fighting me. I haven't done something to my body that it's having to recover from effectively. Eating unhealthy foods, drinking sodas, that kind of thing. Basically, my body needs time to recover from it. And because the body doesn't like to process unhealthy foods, unhealthy liquids. And so when I'm just drinking water and I'm being healthy, my body gets to function the way it's supposed to function. It's not trying to clean out the things that I have fed it or that I have had to drink.
And okay, that sounds good. I was going to ask you what kind of thoughts have been going through your mind, but I think you've answered that.
Here's the interesting thing. When I'm in that state, there aren't a lot of thoughts going through my mind. It's a quiet mind.
Okay. Do you find your mind not quiet during the day?
It all depends on the situation. Sometimes my mind is very busy, but it's very focused.
Okay.
But when I think of that state of feeling healthy and clean, it's a very quiet mind. There's not a lot of chatter.
Okay. Cool. So what we're about to do is hypnosis.
All right.
As you already know, hypnosis makes people do crazy things.
I should know.
Right,
I made
so-
him do
so
it.
chickens and ducks. What's your favorite animal?
My favorite animal, cats.
Oh, all right. So here we always respect our clients' wishes. But seriously, so what we're about to do is hypnosis. Nothing I'm going to do is going to hurt you or harm you anyway. In return, I will let your cooperation. Is that okay?
Absolutely.
All right. So sit back, relax. You know your hypnosis position.
Yeah, this
So
is
take a
good
deep
for
breath
me.
in. And open your eyes for a moment. Just stare at the center of my palm. I'm going to count backwards from 3 to 1. When I reach the number 1, you will just let yourself to relax and let yourself drift. As soon as you close your eyes, you can find yourself free from all the chatters in your mind, freeing all the chatters that are hiding in your nerves, in your arms, in the center of your body. Freeing all the chatters that are hiding in your nerves, in your fingers, your lower back, in your knees, your toes, and everywhere in between. 3, 2, 1. That's right. And just allow yourself to sit there and enjoy the moment. As it counts backwards from 5 to 1, with each number you hear, you can let yourself sink deeper into the softness of the couch. And just feel your lower back relaxing and sinking into the back cushion, and just let your shoulders slump deeper into your couch. 5, 4, and your eyelids becoming so heavy, and even your nose become heavier. The muscles around your cheek, your jaw, and if you still have your teeth clenched together, you can let that stress go. And feel your eyebrows getting heavier, and the muscle groups behind your ears. Just let yourself sink into this wonderful peaceful 3, 2, 1. Sleep. Relax. And do it. And sleep. Let your body sink deeper and deeper into the couch, as if you're sinking through the couch all the way down to the floor. I'm going to count backwards from 3 to 1 again, and this time when I reach the number 1, it will just left to you to imagine a happy, wonderful place on your forehead. It could be a real or imaginary place, but it's a happy and delightful place. As soon as I count backwards from 3 to 1, I step into this happy, delightful place, and your unconscious mind is open to accept all the beneficial suggestions I'm about to give you. 3, 2, 1, let it happen. That's right. Now I want you to use your unconscious mind to find that stress that you have been holding on. That stress may have impact on you in the past. It may have helped you in many ways, but you no longer need that in your mind or in your body. And just use the unconscious mind to untie those knots, nervous knots, any knots that contain negative energy. Thank them and let them dissipate into the earth. Release those stress in your shoulders, your elbow, your fingers, all the large muscle groups. That's right. And the muscle groups around the bones to all the soft tissues, such as your nose, your ears, and around the lips. That's right. Feeling so free, feeling all the baggage being released from your body. Just let them go and dissipate in the atmosphere. In return, you find a wave of good, positive, light energy filling your mind and your body, cleansing away all the old and unnecessary weight, cleansing away all the stress, cleansing away all the unnecessary chatters. From now on, you're easily able to focus on the work, easily able to focus on the life, easily able to focus to improve yourself, and be the Stephanie that you've always wanted to be. That's right. From now on, you'll find yourself only drinking water. All the other drinks may have helped you in the past, but you no longer need them. Whenever you're about to pick up a bottle of soft drink, you immediately lay it down and go for a glass of water. And when you drink the water, you feel your mind and your body being cleansed, being flushed. And you feel so good, so lightweight, so happy that you're helping yourself and your body becoming fresher and cleansing itself. Each day you find time to do meditation and deep breathing. It could be a few minutes before lunch. It could be 15 minutes after you wake up, or it could be 15 minutes before you go to bed. But each morning, afternoon, and night, you'll find yourself being reminded that you are going to make time to do meditations and deep breathing. And once you do that, you find yourself doing this over and often, every day and every day. You find a new way to improve yourself, new way to improve your health, new way to improve your performance, a new way of dealing with stress. I'm going to count from 1 to 5, Section number 5. In my life, remember the history, feeling great, feeling all the stress gone. Everywhere you go, everyone you see, you have this big smile on your face. You feel like a ton of weight has been lifted from your shoulder. Be happy, focus, and delightful. Just like you can just like the last row. 1, 2, 3,
I love a good trance, don't you?
feels great, doesn't it?
It feels wonderful. Nice
Thank you.
and relaxed.
Thank you for coming on the show.
Happy to.
Great.
Thanks for
Come
having
back,
me.
come back sometime.
We definitely will.
This is Hypnotist Exposition. Join us next week, Tuesday night, 7:30, CCTV.